roar of missiles subsided in May-June 2025, but the ensuing silence may only be the calm before a greater storm. Just 45 days after the end of the 12-day war, both sides are mobilizing their forces and allies. A senior Israeli official warns, "If we don't fight now, we will die later." On the other side, senior Iranian commanders are speaking of exceptional preparedness for a future conflict. Today, in this special video, we answer this critical question. Is a second round of all-out war between Iran and Israel inevitable? To understand the future, we must examine what happened during the short but devastating 12-day war. In May-June 2025, Israel launched a widespread preemptive attack, targeting nuclear facilities, military bases, and even residential areas in Tehran and Karaj. According to reports, 1,062 people were killed and 5,800 were injured, with senior military commanders and nuclear scientists among the casualties. Iran's response was the launch of over 500 ballistic missiles toward Israel, which caused significant damage. Although this war led to a fragile ceasefire, it instilled a greater fear in strategists on both sides. Complete defense against a massive volume of missiles is impossible. Currently, three main factors are ticking like time bombs. 1. The nuclear program an existential threat. Israel considers Iran's nuclear program an existential threat. A Netanyahu advisor explicitly stated, "If Israel does not launch a preemptive strike on Iran, it is tantamount to suicide." On the other hand, Iran has announced its intention to resume uranium enrichment, and the U.S. has warned that if this happens, it will attack Iran again. 2. The missile security dilemma. Israel is concerned that if it doesn't act now, it will face an uncontrollable volume of Iranian missiles in the future. A senior Israeli officer says, "No defense system in the world can counter 10 or 20,000 missiles." 3. Shadow war and destabilization. Since the war, Iran has witnessed a wave of suspicious explosions at sensitive facilities. The head of Mossad also unusually confirmed in a statement that their agents will remain in Iran, as they have until now. This atmosphere of mistrust and terror could itself spark a larger conflict. Despite these tensions, there are also solid reasons that make an all-out war unlikely in the short term. 1. Prohibitive cost and American fatigue. The 12-day war placed a heavy financial burden on Israel. Continuing it at the same intensity for a year would consume about 20% of the country's GDP. On the other hand, America may grow weary of continuous war in the Middle East. 2. Diplomatic scenarios and deterrence. There is still room for negotiation. Analysts speak of scenarios such as forming a regional enrichment consortium, or even a non-aggression pact between Iran and Israel, though achieving them currently seems far-fetched. Additionally, Iran is attempting to create deterrence by displaying its military readiness to make the cost of an attack prohibitively high for the enemy. 3. Continuation of proxy war. The most probable scenario is the continuation of the current situation, endless tension. In this scenario, instead of a classic direct war, we would witness ongoing limited conflicts, cyber operations, sabotage, and proxy warfare throughout the region. So, considering all these analyses, what is the answer to our main question? It seems that on the current horizon, the probability of a new, all-out direct war in the short term is low, but the risk of more limited conflicts and persistent tension is extremely high. The region is at a historic crossroads. On one hand, Israel presses with the logic of a preemptive strike to destroy Iran's nuclear and missile threat. On the other hand, the prohibitive costs of such a war and the desire to maintain the status quo prevent a final decision. The future depends on the complex game of deterrence, diplomacy, and political calculations in Tehran, Tel Aviv, and Washington. What is your opinion on this matter? Which scenario do you think is more likely? Is there fundamentally any way out of this vicious cycle of tension and conflict? Share your perspectives and analyses in the comments section with us and other audience members of the Iran Guide. If this video was useful to you, subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to support us and receive more analyses on regional developments.